And at 6 o'clock, we will call the committee of the whole to order. If the clerk would please call the roll.
Marevka. Here. Jones.
Here.
March.
Here.
Parker.
Here.
Ham. And Bowden.
Approval of minutes of the September 24th, 2018 Committee of the Whole meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, a motion to accept as presented.
Motion.
Second. Motion by trustee Jones, seconded by trustee March.
Jones.
Yes.
March.
Yes.
Marevka. Yes. And Parker.
Yes.
Public comment.
All right. Well, thanks, Mayor, board members. Appreciate the opportunity to come in, give you an update on how things are going with Aqua and our transition in Peotone. So I think things are going pretty good. Working on our meter exchange program. I think most of you are probably aware that when we came in, we knew there were some that need to be replaced right away. And I think that number has kind of escalated after some due diligence up to about 450 meters, okay? And the good part is that about 160 are done already, so about a third of it already done. And what we've, it's been a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks since we took possession of the assets. So that's good, things seem to be moving along nicely. I talked to one of the gentlemen today, his name's Nick Tucker, and he's doing meter exchange in town. He's from Peotone, so that's good to have a local friendly face working in people's homes. I talked to our customer service manager, and she said they're getting about 10 appointments a day, so appointments are coming in pretty good. I know there's been some dialogue about appointments and things like that. You and I talked, Mayor, about that, and some folks are concerned about that. So I just reinforced with our team, let's make it as convenient as possible. Let's make sure that folks can get weekend appointments and evening appointments and things like that. And they're prepared for that. Having said that, sometimes the best laid plans don't always go the way you always think they do, right? So if you hear of any concerns and from the public, let me know, and we'll make sure they get addressed. And if there's something that comes up that you think could be done better, let me know that too. We'd like to hear it. We want to make sure the customers here get the most convenient service, the best service in the most convenient way possible. So, any questions about the meter exchanges and that?
I've had a lot of questions from the residents about, do they have to mail their payments, or will there be a drop-off locally for them?
So they'll have to either mail them with the envelope that's provided, or there's other options available online. There's Zip Check, where it's automatically taken out of your checking account. I do what's called paperless billing. It's really, they email me a link to my bill, and then they take it out of my checking account every month. We don't do a lot, like the other utilities, don't do a lot of the in-person payment locations anymore, because there's so many other convenient options available to customers where they don't even have to leave their home. So that's what we really try to steer folks is, and sometimes we have our open house events. One of the things we can do at our next open house is have some customer service folks here kind of walk people through that and how you can do these different things. But
part of the welcome package that everybody received in the mail explained all of those different alternatives also.
that is correct. There are also, if someone is absolutely adamant they want to pay in person, we do have Western Union locations that will take payments on behalf of Aqua. And I believe they're listed in the welcome packet. If they're not, I can certainly get those to be posted at the Village Hall. Surprisingly, there wasn't any in Peotone, but I believe there are some in surrounding communities like Mantino, and I think maybe a little bit north of here. And so if that's something that folks desire, they're certainly available. And if I'm not mistaken, they might even be in the packet, but I'll double check. I'm pretty sure that we list them in the welcome packet, and I should know that right off, but I don't. So there is an opportunity, it does cost them to do that. And if we get them steered in this other direction towards one of the other methods, that's much more cost efficient for our customers.
And just to review, you said that there are appointments available after 4 o'clock and on the weekends?
Yeah.
They just have to make those appointments with you?
Yep. The folks in the customer service center really try to work with folks to try to work something out during the week when folks are here and they're available. But they're also trained so that if someone's really having trouble with that to offer a Saturday appointment. We've asked them to be much more forthcoming about Saturday appointments so that everyone gets that opportunity if they want it.
Yeah, I just seen some posts online and they were talking about.
I had seen the same post, Wayne, and I had called Craig and had a conversation with him, after that, and he got right on it for us.
Well, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you hear stuff like that, let me know because we want to hear feedback. And if it's not good, we want to turn it into good feedback. We want to make sure people are getting served the right way. Okay.
I think the water tower turned out nice after it was power washed, it made a big difference.
Yeah,
I noticed it right away, I was like, oh, I gotta ask if they did that.
I
It
drove
was
by
great.
the day they were doing it a couple times, just kind of watching the progress, and it was amazing how big of a difference it made, like when it was half done. It's pretty astounding.
It's not gonna need repainting at this point then?
yeah, so it probably won't right now, but nonetheless, we're gonna schedule it for an inspection inside and out, and then see what it looks like, right? And then at that point, it will be put on our schedule for painting. It just depends on whether it's a next year project or a 2 year from now project. When that time comes, we'll wanna come sit down with you and talk about like logo or whatever you wanna do. That's the fun stuff, right? Is deciding what the tower logo is gonna be. We don't put our name on the logo, we let the village decide what they really want when that time comes. But I think we're good for right now. I drove by it, took a close look in that. You can see some spots on there. It probably needs to be painted within the next handful of years though. So, but it does look a lot better. And
I noticed it right away.
yeah, so I'm glad that to see that's looking pretty good. And so we'll go through do the and the inspection is really more for like structural things, and there will be some things as part of the inspection that are compliance issues like safety and safety railings and stuff like that. And if there's enough of a need for that, we might move it up in the schedule a little bit, get it painted a little bit sooner, but we'll have more information on that as it comes available. So that's
I
good.
wanna say too, that young fellow, Tucker's his last name?
Yes, Nick, yes.
I had about a half a dozen or 8 meters changed in several buildings, and he is really a good worker.
Yeah.
Very accommodating, very professional, I was really impressed.
Yeah, good one, glad to hear that. That's the impression we want to leave folks with. And I know what it's like to do a meter exchange in hometown, so, I mean, your hometown. And meter exchange programs are really tough because people have to be burdened with being let in the home. And most folks are very, very accommodating. There's always folks that it's such a hardship that it's very difficult and makes it tough. So he did tell me today that every once in a while he'll get some with a little bit of a tough customer, and he just says, you know what, I put a smile on my face and I keep moving along and help answer the questions the best I can, and so that's what we want.
Yeah.
We want folks that even in conditions where folks have really been burdened and they're a little bit distressed about it, that we still put the good foot forward, right, and make sure that when we leave, they're happy. And it sounds like he's doing that.
Yeah, I was very happy.
Good. One other thing too, a few weeks ago, well, it was the 11th, so about 10 days ago. I might have mentioned this to you. So we had a contractor working up on Ratchie Road accidentally dug into the water main and poked a hole in it up there. And so that was turned into quite an emergency because schools fed off of that. And the tower is just a little bit down the road. And so I got a call in the afternoon from our distribution manager, and he said, hey, just so you know, the contractor punched a hole in there and it's draining the water tower, right? And oh, by the way, if we lose pressure at the school, we'll have to have a boiler at the school. I'm like, well, take care of it, do whatever you gotta do. And they did. They got a vendor to bring in what's called an easy valve, and you drill a hole in the main, you punch an easy valve in there, close it off, and you can open it and close it and things like that. But they had to mobilize really quickly, and I was really proud of the team because outside of a few of us who knew about it, nobody else in town even knew about it, right? It was uneventful, nobody ever lost pressure, no boil orders or nothing like that. So anyway, that's it's the resources we're able to bring to the table, and we're happy to do it. That's what we're here for, right? And when people don't notice things like that, that's good for us, and it's good for you too.
Definitely.
So so far I think it's been a pretty eventful first 3 weeks or so, right? Got started off with this program, got the tower cleaned, a few interesting things pop up along the way. But I think overall everything's going really good. We like working with Jim, great guy, and a great amount of knowledge he brings to the table. So just getting our feet wet on things, but things are progressing as planned.
Good.
Any other questions or?
Any update on the main extension to get, the river water in town?
Yes, that's a good question. So we actually have, working with Troy, some meetings getting started. One, I think the first one is this Thursday with a property owner on the easements. And so it sounds like folks along the route have been receptive to talking to us about it. And he's just kind of waiting to get them lined up and get them nailed down to start the engineering and get it going. So we're working hard at that. And the folks at Robinson have been very accommodating and helpful. All right.
Well, appreciate it, and
Yeah, well, if anybody else has any other questions along the way, just give me a call. I think you all have my card. Feel free to reach out anytime here. Like I said to you, if anybody's got any questions about something, if you hear something, feel free to reach out. I like getting feedback, I like hearing what's going on in town, so we'll look forward to keep moving things forward.
definitely.
We have something coming up pretty soon. I'm gonna be attending business at the school.
I believe the Business Expo.
Correct.
That was,
It was canceled for lack of participation.
Oh, really? Like on November 2nd? Or 1st or 3rd, or something like that?
Yeah.
Saturday the 3rd, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let some folks that are in know, because we had a plan to put up a booth in that. Well, maybe they'll reschedule and we can participate that time.
We're thinking about doing it in the spring,
Okay,
but we'll keep you posted.
perfect. All right. Well, thank you.
thank
Appreciate
you.
the time tonight.
Appreciate it,
See
thank
ya.
you.
Take care. Take care.
No other public comment at the moment, so I got a couple things I wanted to mention, and I'll mention them again to remind me at the end of the regular meeting. Leaf pickup has begun. Not a lot of leaves down right now, though, so they are working on that, but that's probably gonna be delayed a little bit because of a lot of brush down. We had a pretty heavy windstorm here on Saturday, and a lot of limbs and trees and so forth down. So they were all out working Saturday night, getting First Street was blocked with a downed tree, and they got that cleared off, and then, moved some other brush off of the streets and so forth. But they were working today, starting to get stuff picked up and running the street sweeper, trying to get the streets cleaned off a little bit. So they'll continue to run brush. They're gonna do the south loop, which was the scheduled loop this week. So they're working on that right now, but then they'll continue to, work the entire village, until we get that all picked up. And then, back on the leaves. But just asking people not to blow your leaves into the street, please put them in the parkway where they can be picked up. And then, of course, putting your brush parallel to the curb and the parkway to be picked up also. And then one of the other things that was mentioned to me today was there's a lot of mailboxes that are kind of leaning in town. So, asking the residents to kind of check your mailbox, and if it needs to be shored up and straightened, if you could do that, just so it doesn't get caught by a plow or some other vehicle this winter, so.
Leaf burning.
Leaf burning, thank you, yes, it is illegal to burn leaves in the village of Peotone. So, or burn anything for that matter, any open burning in the village. So I know that Shelley had asked about that. So just for people who may not know that, you cannot open burn in the village of Peotone. And you can't burn them in your fire pits and stuff like that either. That's not allowed. You're welcome. Thank you.
Did our letters go out for the trees?
Yes, they did. We had, believe as of this morning, we only had one come back, with a negative. So Bob, I believe, is aware of which one that was.
And we've got a meeting scheduled Friday
Okay,
to go over the building
okay.
plans. I think I told you about it, right? Friday at 10 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the meeting.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah,
The building committee or?
yeah, Public Works.
So we need to get an agenda posted.
You said it was Wednesday?
Friday at 10 a.m. Just, discussion of the renovation of the Public Works building.
Did we get the architectural drawings back?
Yeah, yes, and Bob has those. Yeah, we do need to get that moving. I did speak with Will County today, and they were asking when we were gonna pull permits, so I
Okay.
need to get that up and going.
Does Bob do that?
We'll have to probably sit and figure out, once we know what we're doing, what we need permits for, and then probably we can work with Mike and Bob to get that done.
Besides the permits, so Will County doesn't need anything else from the village about doing what we're gonna do?
No, as of now, I mean, all of the zoning and everything, was taken care of, so it's just a matter of getting the plan in place and getting the proper permits before we start construction.
The gym is working exclusively with Aqua.
Jim is a Village of Peotone employee working with Aqua on a borrowing agreement. So, but he is, yes, he is working just strictly the water.
In an 8-hour day, is he being billed through Aqua, or is he doing some village stuff and then?
No, everything is billed through, everything is paid through the village of Peotone. And whatever he is paid, then Aqua reimburses.
Right,
So that includes
but
overtime.
100% of the
100%.
billable time is to Aqua.
Correct, correct. And one of the things I was gonna run by the attorney, and I probably could talk with Aqua about it too, is the possibility of him still plowing snow in his off hours. You know, there's nothing in his borrowing agreement that prohibits that, but, you know, it definitely would be beneficial to us, you know, to have him for that, and he's willing to do that. But that would be strictly on the village then,
Right.
of course.
The apartment building,
Mhm.
did anybody ever find the landscape plans for that?
There was never, no, the answer is, well, I shouldn't say no. Tom was working on that, Tom Pankey, and he was talking with them about the trees, you know, in the parkway, which was, I think, the major thing that was missing, you know, from there. Everything else, as far as the landscaping goes,
Yeah,
it was done.
I think, I mean, there's a large tree just on the other side of the sidewalk there. So I don't know, I mean, we'd have to look to see if there's room for a tree there. But the one thing that I was concerned about is they put those bushes.
And I
Right on
talked
the
with Tom
sidewalk.
about that, and he was going to bring that up to them, because we don't want that to cause some kind of a vision barrier or,
Well, they're gonna get overgrown and then,
Right.
I mean, that's, walking on the sidewalks in town, there's a lot of bushes that, they look nice when they're young,
Right.
but then they start to spill over.
exactly.
So I think, I mean, just as a general rule, I mean, we don't allow shrubs in the parkway anyway,
Correct.
so those should be
Apartment buildings, yes.
That's on West Street.
moved. Borgo, the new one.
But as far as the rest of the landscaping goes and everything, I mean, all of the elements of it were in place. And they ran, you know, all of the drainage, everything was hooked up as it
Good.
should be, and that was all inspected.
Perfect.
I've had several people ask me about the house on Ratchie Road on the east side of Ratchie, the new house that was going up.
Oh, the one in South Reggie.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, okay, I got you, I'm
Yeah,
with
like,
you.
I was trying to, don't
They
know.
were out there working the other day. I drove by and they were in work. I don't know what the delay, you know, on that was. I had not heard. But yeah, there were people out there working on it a couple days.
Yeah,
I think
They were
6 days,
working
Must
today?
have been,
People were.
They were
or they,
working
it was Thursday or Friday I drove by there and they were in there
See
working.
periodically working, so I don't know.
So yeah, Fall Fest, of course, was Saturday downtown, and it was definitely a victim of foul weather. And we lost a majority of the vendors early because of the wind, you know, just trying to keep tents up and product on tables and everything. It was pretty brutal. And then in the afternoon, we had quite a few trick-or-treaters down on Second Street. But when the snow kicked up and that wind kicked up, it was unbelievable. I
It
mean,
was.
it was like Wizard of Oz type thing.
It went from 57 to 37.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like that.
it was unreal. I was out chasing garbage cans down the street and barricades.
They
And,
made you a video of that.
oh, no, well, I actually had somebody send me a picture of me running down the street chasing a garbage can. So
Can I get 8 by 10?
that's something I'll put in my album. You know.
We had
Right.
pulled stakes up because we ran out of stuff, there was so many trick-or-treaters.
Right.
that came, and then it came afterwards. One thing I might suggest, next year, I think we could get by with, like, being just on Second Street, the whole thing, because there was some huge gaps in there, kind of.
Well, but if everybody would have been there and stayed, I mean, it
No, no,
would
during the,
the trunk or treat.
yeah.
But
the whole
even
time.
even then, that's normally what they do with the trunk or treaters. normally it's the vendors, you know, down Main Street and Second Street, and then they usually bring the trunk or treaters in closer to the end down toward the bowling alley and stuff. Because in the past years, that's all been filled with vendors.
Okay.
You know, we've had like 70 vendors the last couple of years, so those spots were all filled. This year, the number of vendors was down, so they had tried to keep them off of the west side of Second Street because of the slope, you know, of the street there. And also when the wind comes down that way, normally that side of the street is worse than the other side. So they had pushed everybody over to the other side, but then, you know, we lost 80% of the vendors before noon because of the wind, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, because the trunk or treat was like started at
One,
one.
yeah, that was 1 to 3,
Right, and
so,
had given everything away by 2,
yeah.
but, it's like a wind tunnel now too.
Yeah, no, well, it is, I mean, and that day, Saturday, it was a wind tunnel no matter where you were at, there was no getting away from it, unfortunately. We'll see what happens next year, I mean, yeah, they're,
It's just nice when it looks really full.
right, no, I agree.
Did downtown lose power Saturday?
Not that I'm aware of,
Is it what?
downtown lose power on
I
Saturday.
think it was just most
No,
of
I
the
think
south
it's
side.
just-
Yeah, we were out like all afternoon into the evening.
Yeah, there were parts that were out until Sunday morning, I understood, over in Schrader Avenue and stuff. There
And
was
the
some-
division was out, and I think some of Gull Landings was out.
All of us
Yeah.
were.
Yeah, well, there were quite a few wires down around town, trees, you know, hitting wires and taking them down. So I know the fire department was running 3 or 4 calls right away initially, and,
Because we didn't-
yeah. But Christmas in the Village is the next event, December the 8th, so they'll check the village Facebook page, there's an event page up, and there'll be other information coming out. But a lot of good events going on, and it's a good day in town. Hopefully the weather will cooperate with us for that and the parade as well. I know, I was talking with the chief before the meeting, he was mentioning the fun fair they had at the school on Friday night that was put on by the National Honor Society, and that was super well attended. It was really good kids, so kudos to them. Anything else from the board at this time? If not, I would take a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole.
Second.
Motion by trustee Jones, second by trustee Roth.
Jones,
Yes.
Maravka?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
March?
Yes.